Hey Ken and Robin, here's my final analysis. This is if you list this week. We don't have anything big pending out there, so it's probably not going to change, but I can update it next week if I think something just cleared the market. So take a look at it, let me know what you think. I still owe you a repair list, like a punch list, so I'll get that to you by tomorrow. It's just been pretty busy around here, so take a look at it, let me know what you think. I think you'll be pleased. Thanks. Hey Ken and Robin, this is the analysis after looking closely at everything. Here's your house as you bought it. It looks like you paid $120, and that was not the best time in the world to buy a house. Values were up, however we have recovered enough to you won't be upside down. So your square footage is 1129, so that will be our multiplier as we work through the price per square foot analysis. Okay, so here is your neighborhood and the sales we have. You don't want to focus on this total number because some of these houses are larger. In fact, all of these houses are larger. So I'm going to go through real quickly. 79 a square foot, that's going to be an outlier, so don't worry about that one. 101 a square foot, 101 a square foot, 98 a square foot, and 118 a square foot. So that would kind of tell you real quickly if you average that up, and we don't use averages, we just use comparable sales, is that, look at this real quick. The average on that, let's see, would be about 101. If we drop that one real quick, your average would be about 104. So like I said, we don't use averages, but that'll tell you. In reality, this one for 118 is seriously one of the best comps we've had in this neighborhood, but they could stand to do a few changes. I mean, they still have some outdated things in the house, the cabinets, etc., the wood trim. The garage was probably adding about $10,000 worth of that 116. So in reality, I would say this house would have sold for about 110 if you didn't add the garage to it. So that's your current neighborhood. That's the reality of Donaldson Hills. Now, for appraisals, we're going to have to go just outside of Donaldson Hills as well, do all of Donaldson without crossing some major interstates or anything like that. So what we do is we look at all of this area, and I'll just hover over it real quick. It's 104 square foot, 118 on Grayland, 106, 99, 104, 98, and 110. Now let's get this 110 real quick, because I know from experience that 110 is really a good solid number for the smaller houses in Donaldson, no matter what neighborhood you're in. Now this is an okay neighborhood because it's the old part of this neighborhood, but it's not one of the better streets, and it's definitely not as good as Donaldson Hills. But what you can see is they were really just rocking out this house with the painted brick, very nice kitchen. They do have carpet in some of this addition here, but hardwood floors and the rest of it. So, and I know you have hardwoods, but some of it's laminate, which kind of prices out, kind of like new carpet. It doesn't bring the value that an engineered floor or a hardwood floor would bring. Finally, what we're going to do is what we call, so that's reality. These numbers, you know, and I know we keep seeing 100 a square foot, but I'm seriously confident that 110 is really kind of a base on a house in your neighborhood. It's just you haven't had the right type of houses sell with the right upgrades and everything. So 110, I feel like it's a good base. Now we're going to go to the active comparables. Now the reason we do this is this does not help us when it comes to appraisal time. This only changes things as we look at what kind of value are we bringing to the market, because an appraiser will stretch the evaluation if he feels like that we're bringing some value that other listings aren't bringing. So what you see here, we can forget this one because that had a commercial potential, but what you see here is these are houses that got a contract. 119, all these yellow ones, 119 a square foot, 110 a square foot, 96, 101, 97, 92. And we got another one up here at 86. So this neighborhood is not a great neighborhood. This is not a great neighborhood. Maple Crest, Stanford Estates, is a very comparable neighborhood to where you live. This one's a comparable house in most ways. I would still have had them do some things prior to listing, but it also has the garage, but it's a tiny little garage. It's not like the big 2-car garage. So again, trying to stick with that 110 a square foot. A lot of these houses probably should have listed for more, but agents just go by these past comparables and aren't familiar enough with the market or don't have enough invested in the community that they would take the time to do a full marketing and try to take the chances of it being out there a couple weeks or even a month in order to get the best price. So that was if we had to meet, if we were looking at all the active comparables and we said, basically we need 3 bedrooms and around that square footage. Now what we'll do is say, okay, what if we had under $150,000 to spend? What houses would we be looking at that would meet our minimum requirements of a 3-bedroom? So this is if you were in the market right now and you're looking for a house under 150, these would be your options. So if you look at River Trace and let's see, River Trace and again River Glen, all of these neighborhoods are subpar to Donaldson Hills. So if people want to be in those neighborhoods, they're going to present a really good value. So like per square foot, a lot of these houses are going to be really cheap. Now this one sold for a lot. I can't exactly understand how they got 119 a square foot because that neighborhood is not as nice, and most of the time things stay really close to 100 a square foot. But these other ones, if you had 140, you'd have to be in Boulder Park. A lot of this is in a floodplain. Hickory, it's called Hickory Bend, but it doesn't have a real neighborhood name. All these right here, Miami Avenue is a good little street, but this is a sketchy little house. And then Woodbury Park is a good little street. That one sold for 92 a square foot. And then we're back to the Stanford Estates one, 110 a square foot. So that's our active comparables. You wouldn't have any real options right now on current active listings that would be comparable to your house if we listed yours at 110 a square foot. So looking at my market analysis, I do know that we keep coming up against that $100 a square foot price, but a lot of that is just because we haven't had the right house. So I'm going to say the bottom for your listing is about 110, which would be 124,000. Now I'm going to give a kicker for the basement, and I'm going to call it like it's a garage because that's kind of how it is being used as a garage storage area, which can add about $10,000 of value to the place. Now if it was finished, it could add more, but honestly there's a diminishing return on that. The ROI wouldn't be worth it. If you finished it, you'd probably lose money. So it's good that you didn't finish it and that you just left it the way it is unless you actually had a need to use it. So I'd say 134 would be our probable sales price. I'm even okay with like 124 to 134 in there. If someone's not willing to pay for that garage, that still puts us above comparables. And then we want to get into fantasy land, which is to say that if things are going up, we want to sell for more. So fantasy land says that, I'm sorry, I used this on another analysis. That was for another house out in Smyrna. It says that we could possibly sell for as high as 140. That's if the market, if somebody really sees the value in your community, really sees the value and having that basement and garage, everything is sharp, and I know I still have you a punch list, then I think we could possibly go up to 140. So what we want to do is land somewhere between reality and fantasy land, which is why I want to list the house at 139. I do think we'll know real quickly if we need to come down because we will get showings and no offers, or we won't get any showings, and I will flesh out that feedback on every appointment. So as you can tell, I'm bullish on this market. I'm stretching as high as I can. I know that you guys are going to be making money or walking away with money no matter what. So I do want to start at 139, see what happens, have a great open house, and try to get as much as we can. I hope that helps, guys, and I'll send this to you and let me know what you think.